Alrighty guys, what is up? Welcome back to Path of Exile Heist with LD7, and today we're going to be starting Act 7 and trying to push through and hopefully complete it. So we've already talked to everyone in town at the end of the Act 6 episode. We went in and took a little detour to do some side quests for extra passives and crafting resistances on our gear. So now we're pretty much set up to the way that I want to be for the end game. By and large, like there's a couple other pieces that we need to grab still, but by and large we are pretty well set up. We do have, if you didn't watch the crafting episode where I kind of talked about what we added, we now have the Wrath and Dread Banner auras equipped on our character, or active on our character. So with that, we only have 30 mana to work with, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. Like, once you have your minions up, you don't necessarily need a lot of mana because they're doing most of the attacking for you. You're not like directly casting spells, but we still have enough that we can use Flame Dash and summon a couple Raging Spirits if we want to increase that DPS a little bit further. So not too bad. The main thing, we now have our minions buffed with lightning damage and impale effects, so it just makes them a lot beefier for us. What we could consider doing is getting an unsocketed ring and putting on a Call of Steel, and you could utilize that to pull the impales out of all the enemies that your minions are attacking, and that can be really fucking powerful, because basically what Call of Steel does, it rips the impales out of the enemies and reflects damage in an AoE type effect equal to the damage that was initially dealt. So that can be really powerful for clearing. I might test that out at some point and kind of just see how it works, because I haven't before. But let's just focus on the build guide for the time being. I just wanted to grab that sulfurite because doing the delve is something I could do to increase the access to crafting recipes and stuff like that. So no worries. I would suggest kind of going for the delve stuff if you see it, because it is worth, generally speaking, it's worth your time. So I think I am rocking our strict filter. Yeah, we are rocking sellables, which is fine. Like, we basically have the gear that we're going to be using to finish Act 10. I mean, we could get, like, I have some boots that I'm probably going to upgrade to. You know, once we get, I think we need a couple more levels to actually be able to wear them, is why I haven't yet. So that might be a change, but outside of that, like, unless we find a juicy 4 or 5 or 5 or 6 link blue chest piece, we're not going to be upgrading stuff for the most part. So I just am upgrading our gems as we go, because that's kind of what you do. We got to talk to Helena and find a way to access the causeway. Not a big deal. I believe you just kind of go off to the side, because there's 4 areas off of this map. But no worries. So yeah, we're back in it, kind of like you normally do. You just kind of clear out. You don't have to kill everything, not a big deal. Your minions will kind of clean stuff up for you as you walk through the map, which is kind of why I like this character. It's fun. You can just walk through the map and not have to do too much, and you're still gathering XP and everything like that. So we're gonna go through the Chamber of Innocence, or Chamber of Sins, whichever this, or whatever this is called. And this is part of the main line, so it's not a big deal. Like, you have to go through this eventually, so might as well do it now while we found the map. I don't know if there's a waypoint here or not. There might be. I think it's maybe right before you access the staircase, because you go through, yeah, so right here there's a waypoint. So you do this, click on the map device. We can't activate it because Sin hasn't, or Silk hasn't spawned for some reason. So talk to Helena. Okay, so we got to go back to town and talk to Helena, I think, in order to keep progressing, so that's fine. We'll do that real fast. I just wanted to grab that waypoint so we can get back to where we're supposed to be. So no worries, find a way into the den, which is right over here. So go back to Chamber of Sins level 1. There's a map device. Because the entrance to the next level is typically over in this direction. Yeah, it's right here, but you can't access it. We got to defeat Malagro. So where is Malagro? The Felshire Ruins. So we got to go back and go the opposite direction from where we went. So that's fine. Go to the crossroads and go down to the crypt. So if you're watching this back and using this as kind of like a reference, go to the crypt first, because then you can kind of just keep playing the quests in order without having to backtrack like I'm doing here. Like when you're trying to go fast through the game, saving 30 seconds here and there is kind of how you increase your clear time and your leveling time and stuff like that. So it does make a difference. Like, yeah, it's not a big deal that I had to backtrack necessarily, but we would have been able to finish the mainline quest a lot faster through Act 7 if we would have started away. Another little pro tip for this: if you follow these roads, typically they will take you to where you're trying to go. So bear that in mind. It can be utilized as a guide just to kind of show you what's going on. So here we are. Kill this dude. Proctor W. So as you can see, like, our clear is actually pretty good. Even, you know, at Act 7, which I'm happy about. I mean, whatever. These 6-link chests and stuff like, or 6-socket chests, they're not linked. I'm picking these up because you can sell them, I believe, for chromatic orbs, which are useful, you know, when you find a piece of armor that you actually want to wear, but it doesn't have the right color sockets or what have you. You can use those to change the color of sockets, but it's a random roll, so you need a lot of them, typically speaking, to get what you're actually looking for. So bear that in mind. So this is where we're going, the crypt. Pop in there, and we should encounter Malagro, and once we beat Malagro, we'll get the map, I think, or you just find the map. I can't remember exactly how this plays out, unfortunately, but that's alright, not a big deal. We'll find out together, I guess. So we're just kind of pushing through like we normally do, not necessarily stopping to kill stuff because it doesn't necessarily help you. We could go do that Trial of Ascendancy. I think that one's required for the Cruel Labyrinth, if I'm not mistaken, which is the next labyrinth that you can do if you want to get your next 2 Ascendancy points, which can be helpful for you. Like, it will give you some increases in either your life, your damage, or something like that. So definitely viable. Basically, I think that's the last one too. Like, there's one in Act 5, one in Act 6, and one in Act 7. So that's the Act 7 one, is in the crypt. So if you don't do it now, you'll have to come back and do it later. So it doesn't necessarily save you time to skip it, but if you're not planning on doing the labyrinth before you fight Katava in Act 10, which we're not, because you don't really need to with this build, you know, don't worry about it. You can come back and do it later. So let's go over here, clear this stuff out. And the reason why I'm skipping it is because I already have a Necromancer Spectre build that's basically built out the way I want. The only thing it's missing is a 6-link blue chest, which, I mean, I've got a Tabula Rasa that I grinded humility cards for, but I don't want to use it because it's not that good of an armor, you know, when you're actually trying to do stuff late game, so no worries. So you go talk to Silk, go to the map device, put in this map, hit activate. It'll open up a bunch of portals like this, and basically you got to go through the portals and clear out. There's like a boss or something like that you have to fight, so we're gonna get rid of this because I don't need it and I can't stash it for later, so no worries. I'm just gonna go in. So this area can be a little bit frightening because there's a lot of stuff in it, monster wise, and they do a lot of damage, generally speaking, so bear that in mind. Be ready to, you know, warp away with your flame dash, but typically you kind of push up this direction. There will be like a little causeway here that you go across, and that tells you that you're going the right way. After that, you go up in this direction, and then I think it's up. It's got to be up a little bit farther this way. And if you kind of hug the edge of the map like this, you kind of avoid most of the enemy attacks that are going to be coming your way. Most of them, not all of them. like this guy right here is pretty beefy, so he's probably hitting us a little bit, but that's fine. And then there's another causeway. You go across, and eventually you'll find this exit way, which goes to Malagro's workshop, which is where you fight the boss. So just be ready to fight the boss. And yeah, so let's get it done. So no worries. He does hit reasonably hard and warps around and shit like that, so bear that in mind. Just be careful. I don't know if he has any super powerful one-shots, but kind of the gimmick with this boss is he spawns in a bunch of like random creatures that you have to kill before you can start fighting him again. Watch out for that like ground effect there, because it will kill you. Because it's kind of like concentrated ground or whatever, but it's damage based as opposed to slow based. Watch out for his little arrows that he shoots out, because they hit for a lot. But there we go. We got Malagro beaten relatively easily, no problem. So there we go. Sin comes in, takes a soul. We're going to go back to town, clear out our inventory, and keep on pushing through. So when you portal scroll, talk to Soap first. He'll give you an obsidian key, which opens the Chamber of Sins level 2. We're going to go ahead and do that right now while we're here. So this little purple thing opens up with the obsidian key. So there we are. Or, well, it's not the obsidian key. You have to defeat Malagro to open that up. So, anyway. It's part of the main line. So let's kill this fucking ghost boy, because they're annoying. They buff, like, all the enemies around, so that's why they're annoying. And they fucking run away and shit like that, so they can kind of be a pain in the ass. And they tend to drop rares. I mean, that one, I guess it was a rare bow. I don't normally pick up bows just because they take up a lot of space in your inventory, but that's okay. You can, if you want it, you can pick it up. It'll sell for alteration shards. I think it's 8. It's 8 or 12, something like that. We are going to go for these because it's Suffering and Wrath on the essences, so that's actually useful to us. So take both of those, or I'm going to take both of those. You don't have, obviously you don't have to do those. We are going to apply the passive, increase our minion damage even further, and the next passive that we get is going to increase the number of specters and zombies that we can carry with us at a time. So that will be good. That's going to feel nice. We might even be able to get that before we fight the act boss, if we're lucky. For this, you kind of just go up this direction and then come back down the other side, and there's like a hidden hallway type thing that you have to go through. So not a big deal. So secret passage, that's what the obsidian key is for. It opens the den, and this is where you fight. So you get a waypoint, you got to clear a couple of things, but you ultimately reach like a boss arena, so just be prepared for that. You are going to have a boss fight, so if you don't have your zombies up or whatever, you know, try to get them up because you're going to want them. Hopefully we'll get another level before we actually make it there. I don't know if that's actually going to be the case or not, but we will find out. So we did our strong box. There is a big monster over here, so we proc our W and throw some Raging Skulls at him just to help DPS him down. By and large, I'm kind of just skipping most of this stuff because it's not that big of a deal. There we go, we got a sapphire ring. I'll pick that up because they don't take up a lot of space, and it'll sell for a decent amount if it's not better than the one we're wearing, which it probably won't be. The ring that we've got is actually pretty good, but it's possible it might roll with higher resistances or something, so we may end up switching that out. We'll just kind of play that by ear. We'll take the boots because they're relatively small. We'll take the shield because it's also relatively small. And I say, basically, if it takes up 4 slots, I call that small. If it takes up more than 4 slots, then yeah, I normally don't pick it up. So we're going to grab this waypoint. And now what we do is we follow this path, and that will take us to the boss fight, if I'm remembering correctly. Ooh, Noble Axe. That's actually not terrible. I kind of want to build, there's an Impale Champion build that I was kind of looking at, which plays well with an axe, so that's why I picked that up. I might actually use it on another build that I'm thinking about doing. We'll kind of see. If I do end up doing it, I'll probably make a video about it or something. But when we enter the forest encampment, this is where the boss fight's going to be. So let's dive on in. Gotta kill Gruthkul. So he spawns a bunch of homies and like damages stuff. So the way you kind of deal with this, so you gotta kill this wolf before the actual boss will jump into the arena himself. But dodge those little missile things because they are chaos projectiles, basically. Gruthkul himself is actually pretty fucking easy when you have minions because he can't come over to attack you, and he's a physical damage character. So there we go. We got him beaten pretty easy. So there's that. Next you go through the northern forest. And there is a waypoint here. So we are going to go back to town real quick just to kind of clear out our inventory a little bit. I didn't notice, it's not a 6th link, unfortunately, but that's okay. Not a big deal. We might not keep that axe. I'll probably just sell it because it doesn't matter. I could purchase a better one for a couple chaos. So there's a book of skill you can pick up, so that's useful. We're gonna have to sell shit first, unfortunately. Yeah. Go to Helena. She gives you boots, which I don't give a fuck about. We'll take the necklace because we need that to progress. And let's identify some stuffs and go from there. So we'll look at that sapphire ring before we sell it and see if it's better. So 30 cold, 9 fire and cold, 2 attacks, maximum life, mana on death. So this gives us cold and lightning, whereas this is just cold, so it's not as good as the one we've got, so we are gonna sell it. We did get these 2 essences, which I'm kind of happy about, because that should kind of help us a little bit. I don't think I've got either of these in my tab here, but I might have them, yeah. So do that. I'm not going to grab the boots from Helena because honestly they aren't worth our fucking time. We're just going to end up selling them anyway. But I will grab the skill point from Aramir. Because that is useful to us because that will give us our Death Attunement. So cool. We've got Death Attunement. What we should do at this point, since we picked that up, is go back over to the control blocks and pick up our second Spectre, just so we get that damage increase. And then we are getting close to the end, I want to say. Like, I don't think there's that much more that we gotta do, necessarily. So let's go in here. Come on, slave driver, right there. We gotta unreserve mana first. Forgot about that. So there we go. Got our Spectre, and we should be able to take 7 zombies with us now. So that feels pretty good. So there we go. We are looking a little bit tankier. We've got 1 extra piece of mana, so 33 instead of 32 now. But not the end of the world, all things considered. So let's go back to the northern forest. And so Mother of Spiders, we gotta find a Ralki's temple. And if I remember right, basically the way this one works is you gotta go through the Val City, I think is what it's called. So basically we're just gonna push through the map to find the Val City. And if you notice the map level, we are in line with it now. So we're supposed to be level 53, and we are 53. So gotta put the necklace on this shrine. Come on. Do I have to like walk up it, I guess? It's kind of dumb it doesn't auto path you there. Got too many fucking minions in the way. We'll take these boots to sell. Upgrade our stuff. So that's fine. We gotta find the exit, I guess. That's what we gotta do. So it should be up this way. Yep. There's a strong box, so we'll open that, I guess. Take that. we've got some currency stuffs, so that's not bad. Let's see, Dread Thicket. I think we need to go in here and gather fireflies anyway, so we will do that now while we're over here. Shrine to Aralki. Artisan strongboxes I always go for because they tend to have a lot of currency items and you have a decent shot at getting chaos orbs out of it. I did actually get lucky on one of those and got a exalted orb, so I do have one exalt now on this character, which yay us, I guess. I don't know what I would spend it on necessarily, but that's kind of like the top level currency. I forget how much it's worth in chaos orbs. There's like I think there's a recipe or something for it that you can potentially use to turn chaos into exalts, but it's not really worth doing that. It's better to just grind out the currency and hopefully find it, or find items that you can sell to other players for exalts instead. So that, at least that's kind of the way I've been led to believe you're supposed to play. I don't know. You can do whatever you want, obviously. So we got to find the rest of the fireflies. I don't know if it actually gave us the mission for that yet because we haven't hit the Val City, but that is basically what we are doing. So there's probably a couple more over on this side of the thicket. Basically, you're just looking for the little exclamation points, kind of like what you always do when you're doing quests. So no worries. They should be easy to spot once you are close enough to them, that is. You know, if you're far away, you won't be able to see it, but that's fine. Now, this episode is past the 20-minute mark, so probably what we'll do, we'll finish clearing out the Dread Thicket, getting our fireflies, and then we will go ahead and split this into 2 episodes just to keep the length a little bit more reasonable for you. And we'll come back and finish off Act 7 in the next one. So I think we have found all the fireflies because we've basically explored the entire Dread Thicket, and there doesn't appear to be any more. Well, it says that there's more. So this is the mission right here. Search for the fireflies. So there must be more over in this corner, I guess. Yeah, there's probably like 1 or 2 more. Not a big deal. I mean, our minions are chewing through these homies, so it's not a big deal. We are going to take this life regeneration node, finish off the wheel. So there we go. We've got our fireflies. Next, we got to deliver them to Yina, which I think we can go into the Den of Despair and kill a boss, is what's down here. So yeah, this guy right there. Who can be a little bit scary, so just be careful. Don't stand on the like smoking earth or you will fucking die. So there we go, got him killed relatively easily. I figured might as well while we're over in the Dread Thicket. So let's go ahead and plop a portal, go back to the encampment, and then we're going to take the waypoint back to Northern Forest, and then we have to find the other exit off of the Northern Forest, which normally it's up by the Dread Thicket. So what we need to do is go back to where we were by the Dread Thicket. What would have been a better play, well, I guess we had to escape the Dread Thicket anyway, so never mind. I'm not going to say it was a better play to put a portal scroll right there. I guess the way you could do it is you go through the Val City first, or the Causeway first, or no, it is the Val City, I think, is where you find Yina. Anyway, so let's see, this is going to load. We're going to go grab the waypoint up here, and then we're going to call the episode, just because we are getting pretty close. I mean, we're almost at the end of the act, so we've probably got another 15 minutes-ish of playthrough before we actually are able to finish it, but that's okay. I don't want to make the video too long. So, get this strong box, just for funsies, you know, whatever. I guess we got a garb that we'll never use, but we can sell it. Unfortunately, it's just a white item, so it won't give us very much, but that's alright, I suppose. So waypoint's up here. There we go. So let's just go back to town. We're going to sell out the stuff in our inventory, and then we'll wrap up the episode. And then next time when we come back, we're going to go ahead and finish the act. So, I mean, these don't really matter. We'll just pick one, so it goes away. And we're going to sell it pretty much right away. Oh, we don't even have our lightning ring equipped. That's fucking dumb. Alright, well. We've been running without capped resistances, guys, because we're fucking fools. So let's go ahead and swap those back, because we don't need Desecrate on us at the moment. And we'll put this back in our stash. And we'll just get rid of these cards that we have picked up. So do that, go to currency, drop off all the currency we picked up. We'll put this in tab 3 for the time being. Alright, so we've cleared out our inventory. I guess let's just talk to these homies and see if we did some quests. Well, we got a book of skill, so that's, I guess it was worth talking to him. That's probably for doing the Den of Despair, is my guess. So, alrighty guys, so I apologize about that little cut there. Unfortunately, my computer decided to crash a second time, so not super fun. But we got that book of skill from Aramir. We're going to go ahead and apply it, and we're going to be working towards sovereignty right here, because it reduces your aura or the mana reservation for auras. So we got to take this int node off of the chaos wheel, and then we'll start working through here. So the first one we take aura area of effect, then we get 4, 8 for a total of 14% reservation, and it increases our non-curse auras effectiveness by 10%. So it's a good node to pick up because we are running with auras on this build. But anyway, we are going to wrap up the episode, so if you enjoyed it, be sure to like, comment, subscribe as always, and until next time, this has been LD7, and we will see ya.